Hi, my name is Kristen and my practice is Well Balanced. I'm an intuitive healer and I work a lot with people who are in physical pain and also emotional pain from trauma. I work with cancer survivors, cancer patients, and also dementia patients. And I mean, the gamut goes across the board. But one of the things that I would love to share with you all today is when I look back on everybody's journey of healing, it is never one and done. So if you are going through a difficult time, know that healing is never linear. It's not in a straight line. You go up, you go down, you go backwards, you go forwards, you go up, 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 and then you come down a little more, or whatever it is that your journey is. Be consistent, walk strong, keep going forward, reach out to help where help is available. A counselor, someone like me, an intuitive healer, a Reiki practitioner, a fascial stretch, whatever you feel led to at that particular time. But I do want to give you a little bit of a tip on how to navigate your own dark times. So often, if we don't express ourselves emotionally and we keep it in, it gets shoved down and it gets way down deep in there. And it can actually cause physical and emotional illnesses. And so I tell people who feel like, well, I can't tell anyone that, or I don't want anyone to know I'm going through this. I said, I so understand. Write it down. Write it down, burn it, see it go up to God. Know that it's going up to God. Get it out. Physically write it down. When I was going through my really difficult time, we go through difficult times all of our lives, but this in particular, this really dark time, I became my own counselor, and it kind of cracked me up how I came upon this. But I remember I was going up north to go hiking just to get away and kind of clear my head. And so on the way back, my head was going round and round and round about the particular situation I was in. So I grabbed my phone and I put it on the audio, and I started to talk to myself and I started to tell my story on my phone, and I was recording it, and I went on in detail as if I was talking to my best friend, which I guess I am my best friend. And so I went and talked and talked and talked and talked and talked and just cried and talked and really let it all out. Then I hooked it up to my car speaker and I drove. I was coming back down from my hike, and I drove and I listened to myself, and I was like, oh, she has been through so much. It's kind of like, oh, she's been through so much. And I had so much compassion for myself just hearing my voice and hearing the passion in my voice of how confused I was and how traumatized I was at this particular time in my life. And it gave me a greater sense of compassion for myself. And at that point, I started to realize if I don't love myself through my dark times, I really don't know who else could love me besides God as much as I could love myself, because no one understands what we're all going through. They can feel like they understand, they can say they understand, but we all know that our own experiences are easy to resonate with because we're in our bodies, we're going through it. So do whatever it takes to get through your trauma and get through your stress. Do whatever it takes. Do not hold back and push it down. I will share my story of cancer on another video, but when I pushed my feelings down and put that bright smile on my face, which I always used to do, even though I was going through something hard, I'd be like, shove it down. I always had this burning sensation right above my belly button, always, for about a year. And that is where I ended up getting cancer. So I will talk about that on another video, but we never want to push ourselves down. We always want to have a voice of what we're going through. What you're going through is not right or wrong. And I'm going to say that again. What you're going through is not right or wrong. It is part of your journey of healing, and is part of your journey of walking into the divine self that you are meant to be. And if we don't go through these difficult times and learn from them, they will keep presenting themselves in our lives over and over and over again in different forms. I'm always telling my kids that. I'm like, gosh, you guys, if you could learn what I know now, please, it would save you from so much trauma and stress. But again, that's their journey. But I always tell them, just be open to learning what is in front of you in order to heal that part of your life, in order to walk forward, then another lesson will come. And we can either shove it down or we can step into it and learn about it and walk forward again in life. And I really do feel like that's really just how we're going to be the rest of our lives. And for me in particular, I want to be as wise as I possibly can. And I want to be someone who has the wisdom of being beaten down and rising up like the phoenix bird, and knowing that that trauma, that stress was all part of my journey and it wasn't right or wrong. And I think when we stop judging ourselves and start loving ourselves, we will see the exact thing that we are going through is not new. The exact thing that we're going through has been dealt with everyone on earth. If you're human and living on this earth, then you have dealt with a lot of what other people have gone through. And to have that compassion for yourself, because you know you would have that compassion for someone else, is a beautiful thing. So one last thing, when I was going through my really dark time, this intuitive woman came into my life out of the blue. That should be another video. I had a lot of those, and imparted these words of wisdom to me. And the one thing she kept saying is, Kristen, you need to learn to love yourself first, and all relationships will fall into place. And I never knew what that meant. I always put my priorities out for everyone else, and I came last. And I thought by loving everyone else first, that I would eventually get love. But it was just the opposite. By loving myself first and truly accepting that gift that God has given me of love and unconditional love, no matter what, right? There's no right or wrong. That is when I truly stepped into truly knowing how to love other people, because I saw the compassion that I had for my own life and my own journey, and I could see that same thing in other people, and it gives me so much love for others. So love yourself first.